Today's show is brought to you by Hearst Ranch Grass-Fed Beef, available on the internet at HearstRanch.com.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes, finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
I'm leaving now, I cannot stay, I haven't got the time. Don't use the stars to find me, don't expect them to align. If you see me when you're dreaming, please don't take it as a sign. I'm leaving now, I cannot stay, I haven't got the time. Remember me with yellow hair and freckles on my nose. Remember me in purple shoes and turquoise pantyhose. Remember my two ankles, my fingers and my toes. Remember me with yellow hair and freckles on my nose. Your name is just a noise now, your face is only skin. The only thing we ever sing are songs of could have been. We never got to end the thing, we never could begin. Your name is just a noise now, your face is only skin. Your name is just a noise now, your face is only skin.
All right, welcome to Snacky Tunes. I am one half your host, DJ Never Forget. Terry Diabolic is in the office today. That was just the spring standard. Welcome to Snacky Tunes.
Thank you.
What'd it say?
I said it's... Oh.
Yeah, there you are.
Hello.
Hi.
I said it's very delicious to be here.
Nice one.
Yeah, but before we get to that, Allison, are you there?
I am here. How are you?
Good, I'm good. Alison Price Becker, welcome to Snacky Tunes.
Woo-hoo.
And
Thank you.
Welcome back to New York.
Thank you.
9 long years. For those of you who don't know, Allison is the restaurateur of Allison on Dominic, Allison by the Beach, Allison at the Maidstone Arms Hotel, and Allison at the Inn at Quag. Did I get that right? Quag?
Quag.
Yes. Oh, very good. But you have been out of New York for 9 years, and you are returning with Allison 18. So welcome back.
Thank you.
But for those of us, like myself, who was not in New York 9 years ago, why don't you tell us first about Allison on Dominic Street?
Well, Alison on Dominic Street actually opened in 1989, and it was on Dominic Street, which is a little teeny tiny 2-block street above the Holland Tunnel. And after 9/11, it was very, very difficult down there. So we decided maybe it was time. We'd had a great 13-year run. Maybe it was time to close up shop, because I did have the restaurant in Long Island, Alison by the Beach, which was going gangbusters, especially because so many people moved out there. And I thought, well, you know what? Why don't I just shut down here and stay out there, because also my landlord wanted to take over the building, and it just seemed time. It just seemed time. So I moved out there. But Alice on Dominic Street was a very small. It was 52 seats, small dining room, banquettes, lots of velvet, tall taper candles, which you wouldn't be allowed to have today.
Right.
And it was very romantic, and it was kind of quirky because it was out of the way.
Now, when you say romantic, in doing my research, I had read that that was the place to propose to somebody. Is that true?
Was it? I guess it might have been.
Like how would it go? Would a guy call up and be like, "I want to propose to my girlfriend"? Was there lots of how did you have a engagement package that someone could order for dinner?
No. No, but we did have people call and say, I'm going to propose tonight. I'd like to hide the ring in the food, or I'd like...
Oh, yeah. So what are your tips
or I'd like a bottle with, the ring tied on it. I didn't really like handling the rings too much. It made me very nervous.
What are your tips for, let's say I wanted to take my my lady friend out there, I was going to propose to her. What are some, hits or miss of, order this for the ring, put it in this, anything, a little bit of a guidance? Well,
don't put it in some kind of food where it's going to end up, where she's going to swallow it.
Has that happened?
Close calls. Luckily, it hasn't happened in my restaurants,
okay.
But you can see close calls. But we don't do that. It's always nice to put it on top of an oyster, or if you've got some kind of appetizer that's got a twig of rosemary. I mean, to hang it on something.
Now, did you find that people normally wanted to bring it out first course, leave it towards the end? Did you was it kind of
all
just
different?
All
Everybody's
different?
different.
Personal preference.
Everybody's different. One person had it, I remember dropped it off beforehand. That made me very nervous because he wanted it right there wrapped in our napkin.
Right.
So okay. It was right there.
Right there.
Other people wait till the end of the meal. Somebody once, though, came up to us and decided not to do it.
Oh, no. Oh, my. Wow.
So those things happen, too.
Wow, I actually never even considered that option.
Yes, but then we also had somebody on the other side of it who made an engagement ring out of a straw paper.
Oh.
Because he did it on the fly. So for every little, hurtful one, there's always something happy.
Okay. So then, from when you closed and now you had a couple of restaurants, now did you do any traveling? Did you go explore the world, or were you just restauranteering these last 9 years of just in between the two places?
No, I did some traveling. I mean, I have a son who's now 14, so I'm sort of tied in a little bit to the school year here. But we together actually took some great trips. Some that have nothing to do with food, like we went to the Galapagos. Oh my God, we've been to Belize a couple times. I've taken him to Europe. We go to Europe every summer. So I kind of took advantage of not having a restaurant because I sold everything in 2008. So I've had a good 3 years where, it's really cool too because we've gotten to spend some great time together, from 11 to 14.
That's amazing. No, those are good years, and now they're like,
oh,
Mom,
it's perfect.
Now it's like, Mom, I don't care. Yeah, he doesn't care.
Mom is no longer cool.
So that's us. And then, as being older, I'll tell he'll come back and appreciate, Mom used to take me on all these great trips. Mom, why can't I go now? So just give it a decade or a half, and you'll be right back in awesome mom spot. So,
okay.
so why come back?
Okay.
So why did you come back to the city?
When I sold everything, I was really ready to come back to New York. I had never planned to stay out on the island full time. It wasn't. It was something that just happened. I really had expected to be out there for a couple of years. Because the economy was great out there in those first couple of years after 9/11. But then as people started moving away and moving back, it's very tough on the east end of the island. It's a, summer community. With the college closing down, it really became a summer community. Financially, it's very difficult. I was born and raised in New York.
Wow.
And it was time for me to come here. And I also felt for my son that there's just not enough for kids to do out there. The teenagers, there's just not enough to do. Whereas in the city, you got the whole world at your feet. You got 1,001 movies. You've got everything. And if you take advantage of it, there's just a lot there for our kids. So we sold everything and moved back here.
Okay.
And then I just took some time. I really wasn't sure, actually, whether I would do another restaurant. That was kind of question, because I wanted to make sure it's the right deal and the right partners and all that. And I started doing product development, which I absolutely adore. And it's a totally different world, corporate world, but I love the recipe and development, and it was really fun. And just when I started thinking, yeah, you know what, maybe I'll just do this. This is really good. I'm getting a lot of work, and it's all fun. Mike calls, my business partner, and one thing led to the next, and here we are.
And here you are, in the Ten Commandment building of all places.
Yes.
Which I have seen. So what is it that Alison 18 brings, new to your, massive portfolio already?
I'm sorry, you broke up on me a little there.
No problem. So what does Alison 18 bring new to the portfolio of your other restaurants? Like, how is it different?
That's a really interesting question, because we didn't strive to do anything that different. We strive to bring what we bring to the table, which is a really comfortable experience, one where you're taken care of, where your food's really good. We're not trying to be out of the box food-wise. Mm-hmm. You're not going to see foam here. Not that Robert couldn't do it, because he can do almost anything, but we choose to go for the really simple, flavor-forward food, where there's not a whole lot of surprise, but there's a whole lot of comfort.
Amazing. And what is one thing that you feel that you've, in the time off in the new restaurant, that you are bringing to the table, like a new approach or a new way to look at things this time around?
Well, the boring part of it is probably with less emotion and more of a business eye.
No, I think that's a fair answer.
Because I've been doing it a long time now. When you're 28, 29, opening your first restaurant, there's a lot of emotion there and a lot of blinders on and a lot of excitement. I know the pitfalls now, so there's a lot more of a business side to it. I'm a little more relaxed in certain good ways. I think I probably listen more, or try to.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
As a boss, probably. I hope.
That's right. Well, Alison, we just want to thank you for calling in. We want to wish you the best of luck. Can you give us the nuts and bolts, where you are, hours, where to find you online, if you can make reservations?
Absolutely. Yes, we have a website. It's www.alison18, all written out, one word. We are open 7 days a week. We are open for lunch and dinner and brunch. Lunch opens at noon, brunch at 11:30. Saturdays and Sundays. We also have a kiosk up in the front of the restaurant that opens at 8 o'clock in the morning for takeaway, cappuccino, and coffee, and the best Alison scones you've ever had.
Amazing.
So we are a sort of full-service breakfast, lunch, and dinner operation.
So you're saying just hang out all day?
Oh, certainly. And we in our event space, we have an 80-inch screen, and we can come down and hang out there, too. We have a full bar, and a lot of fun to be had.
Final question. Is this as proposal-friendly as the earlier restaurants?
Oh, I'm so sorry. What was that?
Is this as proposal-friendly as the earlier restaurants?
I think it is. It's different, but we're also in a different proposal world. People are proposing really funky places these days. I think absolutely. I see. We still have a lot of corner banquettes.
Okay. Okay, well, Alison, thank you so much. Best of luck, and I cannot wait to dine there.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so we have the Spring Standards coming up. We're going to play a couple songs first, but first I want to let everybody know that on May 10th at the Guggenheim, Zola Jesus is going to be playing live and has enlisted the talents of one of her most deeply admired performers, J.G. Thirlwell. Thirlwell is a composer, producer, performer based in Brooklyn who works under many pseudonyms, including Menorexia, Fetus, Steroid Maximus, and several others. He has worked with an extraordinary roster of artists, including Nine Inch Nails, Acceptor, Kronos Quartet, and The. Kronos Quartet will be joining Zola Jesus and Gigi Thirlwell at the show on May 10th, and I just bought a ticket, so there are still tickets available. So before we get started with the Springstainers, I just want to announce that our summer barbecue series is starting up again May 16th at Good Company on 10th Hope Street, which is Roebling and Hope. We have Joe Carroll of Fedasau and Sam Assam behind the grill, and we have Turing Machine manning the decks of DJing. So tickets will go on sale next week, I believe, and you can always walk up. And yeah, so anyway, that's enough announcements. I think. Springstainers, welcome to Snacky Tunes.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
James, and Heather. This
Correct.
is so easy.
I know, right?
It would have been so weird if your twin brother was here, and then you guys would have looked identical, and they would have had the same exact names, and it would have been all sorts of like double time.
I think that's kind of how it's.
We could have played tricks on all the people here.
Yeah, all the people. Look how packed it is.
I know,
it's
it's
spring.
crazy.
I mean, this is
Spring is in the air.
spring is definitely in the air. I
Yes.
definitely skipped all of like the nasty April weather, and now it's like May.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost May. We'll say
Yeah.
it's May.
it's
April 30th.
for all intents and
We were down at
purposes.
South by and we were like, when we get back to New York, it's gonna be basically summertime.
And then there was April,
There was
so, which was
April.
not basically
Not at all.
summertime.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So why don't you give our listeners a little bit of background?
Alrighty. Well, I met these two boys I grew up in Delaware. I met James Clear.
That's me.
That's that one.
Wearing the Flyers beanie.
Wearing a Flyers
Who was at this
Yep.
game yesterday?
More on that later.
More on that later.
Can we also just arbitrarily mention he's wearing a Star Wars T-shirt?
Yeah.
Not that that's relevant to
Yeah, but I don't think-
locations,
yeah, I don't
just
think he was
because it's
on-
awesome.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Let them see.
Yeah, just to
With their
visualize. So yeah, I met James when he transferred to my high school, and we connected pretty quickly. And then he invited me very very generously to come jam out with him and his
Amazing
awesome,
friend.
amazing friend in their sweet folk duo that they were making the rounds of the antique shops and local garage sales. They were just sweeping the township.
Sweeping
Campfire jams,
Of
youth
Kennett Square.
jamborees, youth jamborees left and right.
Exactly. And I was like, all right,
skiffle
guys,
gigs.
maybe I will. I have, I'll do that. So anyway, that's where we sort of got our humble beginnings. We were 15, 16 years old. And
Really pre-college
started,
youngsters.
yes, very like little babies, and started playing music, started writing music, and then just like sort of kept doing it through the end of that era, and lost touch a little bit in the college years, and then all moved to New York for various and sundry reasons, and then sort of found ourselves back together all of a sudden, and there we were.
Was it like ran into a bar, or was it more of like a?
We were all rain drenched on a street.
And we
And we
sprinting,
just
running,
were
sprinting.
running
Yeah, and we all
towards
were
each
running.
other.
Yeah, it was-
And we just collided.
Yeah.
This house some seems like a lie.
No. And then you know that part of the
incredible
Matrix,
slow motion,
like
yeah.
slow motion. We all hit each other midair, and then the view went completely around us in stop animation style, Matrix style.
Side question: all three of you have microphones. Who does the banter on stage?
Oh, jeez.
It's
I think
We're a
all
three-headed
of us.
beast on
One of
stage.
us is like, another one will be like, yeah, let's do this thing. Another, it doesn't. It's never
you-
planned. It's just whatever happens.
If you want the backstage truthful answer, it's whoever has to tune usually isn't bantering.
Oh, okay. Why don't we get a song?
Okay.
we have lots to play.
And I know that you brought keyboards and other things, but due to time constraints on my end,
On my
No,
head.
on my end.
our bad.
Greg.
Come on.
That's me being professional and covering for you guys.
You
now,
are,
now
so
you're
you are.
blowing it.
Damn it. Sorry.
Okay, so what are you gonna play first?
This is a song called "Crushing Pennies."
And is this off the new
Yeah,
EP?
so this is off the. There are two EPs that are being released as a single record, and this is off the first of the two, which is entitled Yellow. And it's called Crushing
And
Pennies,
just
yeah.
think about this: two EPs released at the same time, not one LP, but
Nope.
two EPs.
Nope.
We're gonna discuss that when we get
Yes,
back.
we will. We will. It's like a fraction. Problem.
Yeah, Spring Standards live on Snacky Tunes.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You commandeered my love. It was useful for the time, like whiskey and wine. And oh, we set these flowers drying, hung up while they're dying. No bed left to lay. No, my love, no my debts. And oh, sail down on my arms, with loving you to cry. Lord knows it's through my time. And oh, my love, won't you take a little love this hurt from me? No, my love, won't you share the burden of this love with me? Like whiskey and wine.
Woo! Really nice.
Yeehaw!
Really nice.
Wow, thank you.
Skidoo.
So, math.
So
Mathematics.
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 Let's talk about calculus.
No, let's talk about the new double EP.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know what? I thought of a great analogy.
While singing?
Well, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I have to admit, this is one of those places where this is like I don't know if people know this setup. There's a window here, and people are eating next to us. There's lovely food on the table. It's like an ADHD person's nightmare. So it is my nightmare. I'm like thinking about everything. I'm like, oh, that's a cool camera she has.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good pose there. It's just, I'm like halfway through the song. I was like, what's the next? Oh, I'm singing. Anyway,
Wait, you
just
had a point?
excusing
So
her.
you had a point.
Yeah.
I had a point, which is that I was inspired by our location, inspired by the theme of your show, and I was thinking about how, okay, so take a restaurant for example, and you have appetizers, you have entrees, you have ensalades, you have aperitifs, you have dessert, you have all of these different sections that all sort of work in conjunction with one another to make this amazing meal. But if you were to arrive at a restaurant and they had just piled everything onto one big plate, you would say, well, yeah, but that's not the
okay.
point. So
I have a feeling there's going to be
I
some
got it.
nuts
I
cracked
got it.
further
So,
down.
I feel like this record can be approached like these two records. This album, which is one meal, but from start to finish is comprised of smaller things, can be taken as like two complementary flavors.
So when you play it live, do you mix the two, or are they kept separately?
It's a great question that you have there, Greg.
Thank you.
And I'm going to respond by saying, we mix it up, yo.
Yeah, we do. I think
We
it's
do,
also...
because sometimes you do want
Yeah.
sweet and savory just intertwined. You want some chocolate covered pretzels.
I think I can help soothe everyone's concerns over the 2 versus
Flyers,
1.
James steps into the ring.
Yes, exactly. Redheaded Flyers, James. Ding, ding, ding. No, I think the only thing singular about the release is the release itself. It is released singularly, but it is indeed 2 EPs, and we recorded them with months apart. We could release them months apart. But I think the idea is to provide an instant dichotomy that isn't really like a cut down the middle black and white dichotomy. It's more subtle, but to think of the old days as well of like, side A and side B. The records were always, it was one release, but it was 2 packages, 2 sonic packages that were separated by the amount of time it took for you to flip a record, which for a lot of people, it was like a long time. You'd wait and they'd go, oh, I gotta flip it, and then you flip it. But there was always that moment. So we're kind of forcing that moment in the digital world where you have to kind of load the other EP, put the other EP in your CD player if you're like from the 90s, or like click on the other file that you've downloaded, like which you can do on Tuesday when the album comes out. But
Who's putting it out?
It's we have our own sort of little label, Parachute Shooter Records, where we're distributing our own stuff.
Everything we've done thus far, this is our 3rd album, and everything has been fan funded. and
Kickstarter or-
independent releases.
Sure. Well, before
This
that,
last
even before Kickstarter was huge, we
Yellow
did
Gold is
we did our
Kickstarter.
own. We had like a PayPal setup thing.
Amazing.
We've been doing that for, well before Kickstarter was cool.
What is the top thing a fan can get?
Oh man, like dinners.
Our first one was a joke. Basically, we told them we'd give them their own private island.
Okay.
And that was what.
But it was if you donated like $10 million.
We just shot for the moon.
Right.
$10 million. We'll find an island for you.
Yeah.
No,
We'll-
but
we'll
on the
get it for you.
practical end, though, I mean, we have flown because the reward of cash was so high. We have flown to people in the Midwest and had like a hoedown at their house, an acoustic jam.
We
and a
cooked them dinner.
and-
We wrote them a song.
We are totally becoming friends after
Yeah, there you
this show. Let's get another song in.
Okay, sure,
Yeah,
sure.
that would be
Wait,
great.
can we get one from the other EP?
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we in a nutshell, Yellow is the more acoustic version, and Gold is the more sort of rock, electric version of two sides of what we do. Now, obviously, today here in the studio, we just have acoustic guitars, so this is going to be sort of Gold through a Yellow lens a little bit, and this song's called "Watch the Moon Disappear."
Amazing. Live on Snacky Tunes.
You're crying in your sleep again, honey, what can I say? It'll be okay. It'll be okay. I'm living in my mind again, honey, what can I do? I'm not like you. I'm not like you. So go and watch the moon disappear. When you get back, I'll still be lying here. You're the only one I want again, honey, what can I say? It'll be okay. It'll be okay. I'm sorry that we're here again. Honey, what can I do? I'm not like you. I am not like you. So go watch the moon disappear. When you get back, I'll still be lying here. You're the man in the mountain, and I am so small. You're the bear in the winter, I'm a tree in the fall. You're the bear in the winter, I'm a tree in the fall. Let the morning make sense of it all. Let the morning make sense of it
Wow. Awesome.
Thanks.
That's some nice harmony.
Oh,
That's a really
wow.
nice harmony.
We hate harmony.
Thanks, dude.
Just trying to get our Fleetwood on. You know.
You know what? I literally just wrote my brother. They sound like Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, we were in the studio. I was like, do more of a Fleetwood thing.
No, I didn't want to say it because I didn't want them to be like, hey man, we don't appreciate that. But no, seriously, I love Fleetwood Mac. So
We very much appreciate that.
yeah, no.
Yeah, it's like a production blueprint. Just to have on every, even when we were just doing the basics before the harmonies were in there, was like, could you do more of like a Mick Fleetwood thing?
Yeah.
Sad news. Could you do more of a Stevie tambourine deal?
No, it's that was really good. So EP comes out, tour generally follows.
Yes.
What's the tour plan?
The tour plan is we hit the road this Sunday. Actually, is our first tour date. It's in Ann Arbor, Michigan, followed by in no particular order, although they are all in the following week. I know we're doing Chicago, we are doing St. Louis,
Cleveland.
we are doing Cleveland, we are doing Columbus, I believe.
Columbo.
And we'll be in the Midwest.
There's places in
for the
between,
next
yeah.
week, and then in June we're doing the full country. So any corner of this fine country of ours will be covered by us. With the
true,
exception of parts of the Southeast, unfortunately.
Yes, and if you're in the Midwest, catch us in May because we will not be returning to those neighborhoods in June. But we'll be going all the way up. We're doing some dates in the Northwest and in California and stuff like that. We'll be out there for a while and coming back in July, I believe. July, the first week of July, we'll be back.
We'll be opening for Rhett Miller.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
That's great.
I want to get one more song in before you guys go. So, Nuts Bolts, where they can find you, tour dates, Twitter,
All that.
where they can
all
give
that,
you like
yeah.
$10 million and buy an island.
All the dubs, you know.
If you just go to
the-
springstandards.com, it's got all the, it's got all the icons underneath for everything. You can, it's the hub to all the other little social network bits. So the springstandards.com is the way to do it.
And the record will be available on like iTunes, Amazon, everything you can imagine, as well as our own web store, where in addition to just normal versions of the record, you can buy one of only 900 handmade copies that we made of each separate EP.
Amazing.
So that's a fun little thing for if you're listening in and you just are so in love with our music that you want something super limited edition.
Yeah.
That can be available there for you.
Awesome. And big shout out to Sarah from Girly Action for setting this up.
We love you, Sarah.
Yeah. She's the best. She will be doing, like I said, this Snacky Tune Comp Volume 2. Which,
So cool. We look forward to seeing.
yeah.
We look forward to seeing
you
that,
guys will be
man.
Volume 3, so like give me
Sweet.
like a year and a half. And
We'll give you 5.
Yeah,
no
we'll
worries.
be fine. Spring Standards, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks a lot.
Next week we have Zambri live in studio, which is going to be super rad, and then the Manhattan Cocktail Classic, and possibly a couple other people because it's James Beard's Award next week, and we're going to try and get some special guests. So
Nice.
make sure to tune in next week. And what's the last song and which EP is it from?
Well, what if we leave it a mystery?
Okay, fair.
Ooh, this one is sort of, this one would blur the lines. 'cause
Okay.
But incidentally, it's track 2 from Either. I won't tell you which.
Okay.
Oh my gosh!
1, 2, 3.
Satellites and radio towers, light bulbs in the deep, tiny artificial eyes protect you while you sleep. So tell your mama that you gotta go. And even though it's cold outside, it's the only place that you know is a heavy home. Oh, oh, oh. 3 steps forward, 1 step back, eggshells neath your feet. You're turning all that's gray to black. The daylight's great defeat. So tell your mama that you gotta go. And even though it's cold outside, it's the only place that you know is a heavy home. drink of water and a bitter pill. It's all you get, so choke it down. And when you've had your fill, you smile a crooked smile for old time's sake. Find your place in the sadness. Walk away in the dark. It's not all great sadness. I can tell it when you speak. You shiver everywhere. Paper walls let the nighttime through, but there ain't enough to share. So tell your mama that you gotta go. And even though it's cold outside, it's the only place that you know it's a heavy home.
Thanks for listening to this program on the Heritage Radio Network. You can find all of our archived programs on heritageradionetwork.com, as well as a schedule of upcoming live shows. You can also podcast all of our programs on iTunes by searching Heritage Radio Network in the iTunes Store. You can find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for up-to-date news and information. Thanks for listening.